7. The Arhat. There is no burning for him who has completed the journey, who is free of sorrows and all else, and who has broken off all chains. The mindful put forth great effort. They do not remain content in the household of life, but leave their homes behind, just as swans leave a muddy lake. Arhats do not hoard. They take a right view of eating, focused on deliverance and void. They leave no trace, like the path of birds in the sky. He who is free from obsessions, eating simply, clear-headed, and focused on liberation, like a migrating bird, leaves no trace of track in the sky. Even the gods delight in the presence of one who has freed himself from pride and mental obsessions, who has his senses under control, like horses trained by an expert trainer. Done with the round of rebirths, he is as accepting as the earth, as firm as a doorpost, placid as a pond free of mud, and dutiful. Whoever has reached a state of freedom, through perfect wisdom, peaceful and unshakable, is nonviolent in his mind, his speech, his action. Whoever is in touch with the infinite, free of attachment, desireless, is the highest among men. Delightful is the place where the saints dwell, be it village or forest, cavern or open field. Delightful are forests, where more worldly men find no joy, being free of the pull of desire. Saints, who seek no worldly pleasures, find delight in such places. 8. Thousands. A single wise word, bringing peace to the listener, is worth more than 1,000 speeches full of empty words. A single verse full of meaning, bringing peace to the listener, is worth more than 1,000 verses full of empty words. One may recite 100 verses full of vain descriptions, but a single verse, bringing peace to the listener, is worth far more. One may conquer 1,000,000 men in a single battle. However, the greatest and best warrior conquers himself. Conquest of oneself is the greatest victory of all. Neither a god, nor a heavenly musician, not a mischievous angel of the highest of the 6 heavenly abodes, can deprive the self-vanquished, restrained person of victory. The honor paid to the one who has achieved self-mastery, for one single instant, is worth more than monthly offerings of 1,000 pieces of gold. Honoring the one who has achieved self-mastery, for one single instance, is worth more than living in the forest, tending the sacred fire for 100 years. Making offerings for glory and recognition is not 1/4 as worthy as honoring the upright. Whoever shows reverence and respect for the aged is rewarded 4-fold, with long life, beauty, happiness, and strength. Even a single day of life lived virtuously and meditatively is worth more than 100 years lived wantonly and without discipline. A single day's life of a wise and contemplative man is worth more than 100 years lived wantonly and without discipline. A single day's life of one who puts out great effort is better than a life of 100 years lived in idleness and sluggishness. A single day's life lived by a man who grasps the impertinence of all conditioned things is worth more than 100 years lived in blindness and ignorance. A single day's life of one who sees the deathless state is worth more than 100 years lived without perceiving it. A single day's life of one who sees the truth is worth more than 100 years of not seeing the truth. 9. Evil. Do not lose a moment of doing good. Protect your mind from evil. Whoever neglects doing good is inviting addiction to evil. If a man has mistakenly committed an evil deed, let him not repeat it. Let him not be addicted to evil, for it is the amassing of evil that brings misery. On the other hand, if a man does good, let him do it repeatedly. Let him put his heart into it, for the accumulation of good brings blessings. Even an evildoer feels happy before his negative actions reach fruition. However, when the evil ripens, he will have a bountiful harvest of evil results. A good man sees what is unwholesome before his good deeds reach fruition. However, when the good ripens, he will have a bountiful harvest of good results. Don't underestimate evil, saying, "It can't happen to me." As a pot slowly fills up with water, drop by drop, so does the fool, little by little, become full of evil. Don't underestimate good, saying, "It can't happen to me." Water falling, drop by drop, will fill even a large pot. Likewise, the wise man, accumulating good, little by little, becomes goodness itself. One should shun all evil. As a merchant with treasure and a small caravan avoids a dangerous road, or as a man loving life shuns poison. If a man has a hand free of wounds, he can take poison in his hand. The poison cannot penetrate the hand that is free of wounds. Likewise, a man is not guilty when he acts with no evil intention. If someone harms an innocent person, one pure and free of guilt, evil results will fall upon the doer, like fine dust thrown against the wind. Some are reborn in a mother's womb. The evildoers are bound to miserable states. The doers of good are reborn to happy states. Those free of any stain go on to a perfect peace. There is no place in the world, neither the sky, the sea, nor in mountain crevices, where an evildoer can hide, safe from the consequences of his action. There is no place in the world, neither in the sky, the sea, nor in mountain crevices, where one can escape the inevitability of death.